Okay. Hello and welcome to the StandPoint. In 2 days, we'll be celebrating Father's Day, and it's a shame. In fact, I am even embarrassed. The way we've been so quiet, the media has been quiet about Father's Day. Oh, about Simponi. But well, today we are going to have a conversation about a changing faces or changing role of fatherhood today. In years past, we kept saying, and men are not responsible, and fathers are this. Have we reached a point where we need to really celebrate fatherhood? My name is Gifty, and welcome to the StandPoint. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth, Ophelia Crossland Design Sews for me, makeup provided by Paba Cosmetics and applied by Makeup and More. My beast today is by Afio Creations. We take a break. When we come back, I speak to 3 fathers who I can confidently say they are role models. We'll be back. Welcome back. This is the StandPoint, and today we are going to talk about fatherhood, the changing roles of fathers, and whether it's about time we show more appreciation to fathers, because this time round, this year especially, it's been too quiet. And for somebody who calls herself a feminist, gender activist, advocate, and I do everything women, I am even ashamed, honestly ashamed about how we have treated fathers this year. So we need to, by the time we finish the show, you have to be rushing out to get a present for your father.
Say it again.
You know, yes, I'm repeating it. You should be rushing out to get a present for your father, because some fathers are really, really unique. I am here because of my father. Well, at the StandPoint is sponsored by the African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. They've been supporting African women's rights organizations across Africa. Tinatec Herbal, they produce Tinatec Tomacare and Venicare. NS Chemist, they produce Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture and Nescafe Black Tonic. Goyle, yeah, dear, homegrown, everything here, Ghana oil. So you need to patronize it. And Walmart Africa Limited, they produce Frytol cooking oil, good old Frytol, and Fortune Right. Fortune Right comes in 3 types. That's the packaging. We have the green one, which is very good for omutuo, and the orange one is good for wache, and then the wine one. And when I talk about the colors, is the packaging. The wine one is also very, very good for jollof and fried rice. They are our sponsors, and we are grateful to them. Today we are talking about fatherhood, and I have 3 fathers who I am proud of, and I can confidently say they are role models. And seated at my extreme left is Sheikh Bin Sana. He's a pharmacist and an Islamic scholar. Welcome to the StandPoint, Sheikh.
Thank you for having me, madam.
And then next to him is my good old, long time ago, big brother, Mr. Dadzi. So that's who's Mr. Francis Dadzi. Yes, there's the first name is Francis Dadzi. He's the Executive Director of Advertising Association of Ghana. Welcome to the StandPoint. And next to him is my own Dr. Ebo, jehu-appiah, affectionately called Uncle Ebo. Welcome back to the
original.
Original Uncle Ebo. It's been how many years?
Oh, well, we started it all. But I think we've left others to come, and you are doing very good. I mean, I watch your program every Friday, so
we thank
happy
God
to be back.
It's good to have great.
On
that note, let me go to Mr. Dadzi. Do fathers cry?
Yes, we do.
What makes fathers cry?
Well, there are issues that touch our hearts, and we realize that we're helpless, and then we see the pain in our children, in our wives, and things like that. And so they'll touch our emotions and things like that. And then we see that it sometimes makes us cry.
Really? Fathers have emotions?
Yes, we do, a lot. But we see the thing is that we don't cry in the presence of our children and our wives who see us as a strong and macho. We have to be strong for them. But in our quietness and when we are alone, we cry sometimes.
And do you think that helps, the showing of strength and having to be there for everybody?
Yes, it helps because from my point of view, I had a situation where my wife had an autoimmune condition. She was actually paralyzed. I had to wheel her around. And I had to be strong for her for almost 2 years of that running. And I have to be running between, my daughter was in Wesley Girls. Every 2 weeks I have to go to the school to make sure that she speaks to her mother. Driving to Cape Coast, that is when I cry my emotions out, you know, and things like that. And so, but when you're around her, when my wife is down and she cannot eat, she cannot do, why has this happened to me? I think I have to be strong.
Right.
Because if you're not strong for her, she will also break down, and then the center cannot hold. But the strength and the push that I took those times is what has made her, now she can walk, you know, and so, I mean, not as before, but at least she can move around by herself. And so those are the things but that's what the emotions I mean, it's part of the human makeup. You cannot hide it.
You have 2 girls and 3 girls,
yes.
And so you are like the only man in the midst.
Girls dormitory.
Girls dormitory. And imagine, you know. So, does anybody prepare you for fatherhood?
Not really. I was just I was trusting to it. Well, my father, we were 7. We were 4 boys and then three girls, and there were 2 girls before me. And my father was traveling and things like that, and so basically out of the country and things. So basically, in fact, to be honest, it's my attachment to my mom that actually turned me around. Okay. Because she believed that at a certain age, everybody should be able to wash dishes, to start cooking and things like that. And my mother was a nurse, you know, and also baking and doing all sorts of things like that. So at a certain point in time, she was baking and things with my sisters. And so if you don't learn how to cook, you go hungry. And so those are some of the things that actually tend. But my father comes, and then those years, I mean, he's the father, the fancy man, and the tables and things for him. And things. But me, I don't even know what that is. You have to serve him. Yes, and things like that. But in my time, I go to the kitchen. It's not part of my DNA to be served. I get irritated. I go to the kitchen, do my own thing, and then everybody is free. And so those are the things.
Actually, but why do you think we still don't seem to appreciate fathers?
Don't we?
As a society.
Don't we? It depends on how we have defined fatherhood. And this time, you know, we have, I say maybe there are more than 4 types of fathers. There are the biological ones that he talked about right now, the biological one. We have the social one. And we have the political one. If somebody's a president, they say the
father of the nation.
Father of the nation. And you have the spiritual one.
Yeah.
You know, I'll let you agree with me. When our Lord Jesus wanted to teach us how to pray, he said, our Father. So he's a father of all. I think that we appreciate fathers. But maybe this time because we want to bring the woman up. You know, I work for women. Yes. And you know, contrary to my brother here, he has 3 girls. I have 4 boys.
4 strong boys.
So I'm the 5th boy in the house.
There are no more boys, though.
Oh, they are men. Oh, yeah, they are young men. Please. So it's in the boys' dormitory. My wife is only female in the house, you know. And that is it. I think that fathers are celebrated. It depends on which role you are playing in your children's lives. If you play the role that the children appreciate, the wives appreciate, you are celebrated. But I think that we are not making so much noise because the whole media attention is on women. You know the work I do. Yeah. You know, I think that no woman should be treated the way we have treated women in the past. Right. So some of us who don't have women in our lives, we think that this opportunity to help women to come out, you know, as they should be. The country has not celebrated women enough. Right. And if you allow me, I'll stray a little bit into what I'm saying. Right. Because if I allowed a woman to become pregnant before the ages where they have to be pregnant, so they don't contribute to societal development. And if you allow early child marriage, so they don't get to maturity where they can contribute, we are denying the women that what do you call it, their contribution to the world. That's why the attention is on women now. But I believe fathers are playing a key role. I listened to the story of my brother here, and I was so touched. You know, if he cries, yes, we do. Last time I watched on television about the death of our dear soldier, Major. And I saw the father reading the tribute, and at a stage, he was even, I mean, he was strong. I wouldn't have even be able to start it. You know, because, I mean, he called the son my friend. That is how, how deep can that be? It's not only a father and a son relationship. He said, my friend, I've lost a friend. Right. I mean, that's how, fatherhood, is. Some men are doing it.
Yeah.
Others are just like, thank you.
Sheikh, you have 2 girls and a boy.
Yes, madam.
You belong to a religious group that holds the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon his name, very high. Most of the imams are men. They talk about the role of men and all that. But we see most of these young girls from the Muslim communities, and they are even afraid of their fathers. Being forced into marriage, and there's an uncle or a father who is behind it. How can we change this?
I began in the name of God, in the name of Allah, who is gracious, the ever merciful. We ask for his blessings and honor on the noble prophet and all those who tread in the path of God and righteousness until the day of judgment. The question that you have asked is very critical and central to understanding of God and understanding religion and understanding the secrets in the things that God gives us as parents. In Quran chapter 12, fatherhood in Islam, linguistically and technically has been defined that the ability to pass prophetic information, prophetic judgment from one generation from God to your offspring.
Okay.
The ability to be able to do that, in other words, the ability to communicate God's desire for you on earth. God's instruction for you on earth as a father, because God communicated to Adam directly. Even when they ate the fruit, God did not call Eve and talk to Eve or Hawa. He talked to Adam because of the centrality and the responsibilities placed on him as a father. So the ability to pass on the information to yourself, your wife, your children, and so that they can be guided and act correctly is the reason why you are called a father. That's the fatherhood. You ask of the prophet. The Quran says that indeed, in the example of the holy prophet, is the best character for anyone that wants to see God or meet God on the day of judgment and have salvation. And the example of the prophet says that whoever, any man that is able to take care of his children, and that is able to take care of 2 girls from childhood, give them education, give them shelter, give them protection, guide them towards God until they reach of age of marriage. The prophet says that God will give you heaven without question, without examination.
Let me come to Mr. Dazi. It seems it's like what the Bible also says about men being, the fathers being the head of the family, or husbands being the head of the family, leading the home. But most of the time, it's the mothers who are indirectly leading.
The thing is that I think that we are also not preparing men for fatherhood in the church. I mean, we talk about women's fellowships and things like that, and you see that the young ladies and things are happening, but when you come to men, it's like we've been left to grope and find for ourselves and look for some of these things in the Bible and then misinterpret them. So you have situations where things that you do not expect. I mean, you have men who are abusing their wives, they are in the church, they sit in leadership and things like that.
Right.
But it is because from the word go, the boy child has been left on his own to grow and understand fatherhood by himself.
Yeah.
But we should have a situation where the women's fellowships in the churches are taking over the young ladies and grooming them, etiquette and other things, dressing and other things. There should be a scheme for our young fathers and coming. We have a lot of them just walking around and then they just come to church, it's just the prayer meetings and things, they are going up and down, just walking around. And even, leisurely, even when service is going, you see them just outside talking and things like that. Nobody is keeping an eye on them. I think that is part of the problem.
Thank you to Gogot Yogurt. They provide us with a refreshment, and yogurt is very good for women. I always say it, very, very good for women. Very good. Thank you to House of Foods, Cake Technique, Yup Cleaning Services to make sure our environment is clean. Matamis gives us the port, and we are so grateful to all of them. We take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Welcome back to the StandPoint. Thank you to GTP for my cloth Ophelia Crossland Designs. So for me, makeup provided by Paba Cosmetics. I've been using Paba for 7 years now. And hey, remember, on 8th of July, we are having Women Call to Worship. This year, because of certain things, we can't do the normal 3 programs that we have, the Muslim Women's Conference and then the Femiton. We are only having one Women Call to Worship, and everybody, it's non-denominational. Christians, Muslims, Hindus, everybody, come. Our theme is Woman, You Have a Testimony. Come, let's fellowship and worship together. And God willing, inshallah, next year, 10th anniversary is going to be great. So keep praying for us. Yeah. So the StandPoint will be 9 years very soon. Can you believe it? 9 years.
9 years.
God has been good. Right. And thank you to Makeup and More for applying the makeup for us. My accessories, my beads from Afio Creations. Now, we are talking about the changing role of fatherhood. Sheikh, some say that fatherhood has changed. In the past, a father, your duty is to provide, pay school fees, make sure food is at home, the children, have clothes on their back, and that's it. Yeah. But in this 21st century, 2017, fatherhood has changed. Do you agree?
Now, parenthood is shifting these days. We go to mosques, we go to churches. Do we have time to sit down to teach our children about God first? Then we talk about money and beautiful women and girls and all the flamboyant things of the world. Do we have time to do that? Most parents have shifted to mechanical things. They buy tablets, laptops, gadgets, and then they leave the children at home with the social media. Go on the internet, you can find anything. Yeah. So the child starts learning things that are traditionally not of the environment. Yeah. We have globalization now. Formerly, your child's influence will be in your vicinity, probably your house and a few village, 2-3 people. Now the child is sitting here and he's in China. The child is sitting here and is in a classroom or is in a ghetto in US. Yeah. The child is sitting here and is in a ghetto in Japan. The world has become a global village. So the challenge to fatherhood is far greater. And the threat to children's bright future, child delinquency, delinquent, all the drugs and everything is far greater than that. So the parents should be up and doing and be more responsible today than the first. Yes. But the only thing that will save parents and make you a true father is to go back to the original source. What is the first basic thing that I have to instill in my children? Yeah. And that is the fear of God. Yeah. Understanding His word and walking the footsteps in the scriptures. That will save you. Anything that happens, we run to God first. Please save me, save my child, save my daughter, save my wife. You want a prayer? Start that one with the children.
Start that one with the children. We said that's what I was, coming to. Fathers in the past, will do everything. They think I have to leave a legacy for my child. So I'll work and get the mansions and all that. But I tell people that no matter what I'm talking about, whatever topic you give me, my father will sneak in there. Not because I can show you anything that when my father died, this is the property I have. But everything I am is my father. Wow. My first maniki, is that the word? My first, when I had my first menses, it was my father. Maniki. The first boy who wrote to me, I sent it to my father. The first, everything, it's my father. I grew up with my father. My most memorable moment at Infantimine Girls Secondary School was when my father got down from STC with bread under his armpit and then a briefcase. Came to visit me just once. I was there for 7 years. He came just once. But that was my most memorable because I knew what it took for him to come there. He communicated with me. My father was a very proud Achin man. Gold Coast trained police officer. Presbyterian trained disciplinarian. But very involving. Very, very involving. But that is what we don't get in a lot of fathers.
Yeah, that's right. I think that, like you said, the issues that will confront us today, the economic conditions and things like that, we are letting it overshadow our original responsibility. And I think that we should, It is true. Like you drive about 2 hours or 3 hours to work and things like that. And sometimes you come home after 10 p.m., your children are asleep. The next morning, they are rushing out going to. So we should be able to we should be able to make time within the scheme of things at the weekends for our children. We should become their friends, okay? Because if we do not teach them, the Bible enjoins us to teach the children the way they should go, so that when they go, they will not depart from. And that we should also not provoke them. So if we do not balance the two, and you leave them, then the society will teach them. Their friends will teach them for you. And at a certain point in time, you will lose touch with them. So your children should be able to come to you and cry. You should be their first point of call in any situation that they find themselves in. They should feel confident to come to you. That doesn't mean when they are doing what is wrong, you should not reprimand them. No, you would reprimand. But the way that we go about it, we should create an atmosphere and environment in such a way that they can be able to come to us. Because at the end of the day, like you said, God is going to ask you, God, they are a gift from God. They are a gift from you, and you have a responsibility to make sure that you present them at the end of your time on this planet Earth that you have done what God expects you to do. And so basically, if we do not move away from the thinking that somebody else should do that and see that I have a responsibility. This child did not say that he wants to come into this life. You brought him. So rise up to that responsibility and make sure that whatever sacrifice you have to do, it must be a price that we must pay to make sure that in our old age and things that are like, we don't regret some of the decisions that we are making. So it must be a sacrifice because they are gifts. That's what the Bible says.
Children are a gift. In other translation, it said children are a reward from God. And God rewarded you with 4 strong young men.
And I appreciate it. I thank him for it. Anyway,
Amen.
There's something that we often say, and I have a difficulty with that, all of us, not this platform, but generally. We think that fathers know everything. Some became fathers by accident. Yeah. It's not that because you are a father, you know what fatherhood is. And that's my difficulty. They didn't learn anything better. So you think they can show what they learned to their children. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen like that. You see, I think that's why it's important that we realize, and if a Muslim or Christian, find out which values that you have to become a father. Some people just became fathers, as I said again, by accident. And that they forced those women because they made them pregnant on them. What do they know? What did even their fathers teach them? You see, sometimes don't let us assume, all of us, don't let us assume that because you're a father, you know everything, you know your responsibilities. Let us also leave this world for our children to be said, if my father had been around, if my father had been there, not why to say that, you wait, when your father comes, you will see. Threatening your child that the father is terror in the house, comes with a cane, comes with a wicked face, comes and just throw the shoes away somewhere, and comes and want to be served and pampered. Show that love.
Well, let me take another break. The Standpoint is sponsored by NSK. They produce Auntie Mary Baby's Grind Mixture, which Sheikh is used to it by now, and Nescafe Black Tonic, and Wilma Africa, they produce a fried oil cooking oil, and Fortune Rice. Fortune Rice comes in 3 types. You can identify them by the packaging. The green packaging is very good for wache and it's good for mutuo and rice water and all the soft dishes. The orange one is very good for wache, and then the wine packaging is very good for jollof rice and then fried rice. Thank you very much to them. Thank you to Tinated Herbal. They produce Tinated Venicare and Tomacare. African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. Goyle, yeah, dear, homegrown. We take a break. We'll be back. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Thank you to Gogot Yogurt, Matamix for giving us the port, Yep Cleaning Service, they take care of our environment, House of Foods, Cake Technique. We are so grateful to all of them. Now, I'm about to take your conclusion, but since Mr. Datsey is here, Mr. Francis Datsey, who is the Executive Director of Advertising.
That's not why I'm here.
I know, you're here as a father. Don't you think that sometimes our adverts, TV programs also contribute to the way we see fathers? Because if every time I'm portrayed as bad, I might as well, you know, just give up, do my bit.
Yes, I think that, you know, when we were in GDC, we had a lot of independent production, in-house productions.
Yes.
And so, therefore, GBC as a national broadcast had a policy where we want to bring out, educate people. And so we have script writers, producers who write scripts to reflect society and the positives in the society. Now we've all gone digital, and then GBC is also following this too, and everybody's buying things that are alien to our culture. It is very, very worrying. And it is also contributing to the kind of situation we find ourselves in. And unless we make that conscious efforts as individuals and as father figures in our families that, look, I will still maintain and protect and then give these values to my children. And tell them that the TV commercials are, or most of them are deception.
Deception.
They are promising what they cannot deliver. And so, therefore, don't believe all that you see there. At the end of the day, have it at the back of your mind that whoever is doing that has a commercial and a selfish motive. There are positives, but a lot of them are negatives. And they do not gel with our society, our culture.
Sheikh, TV, technology and all that has become a part of us.
Yes, madam.
Do you think that it's about time we project the good fathers, the good role models in the form of men that we have in our society, so that people will know that this is what we have to follow, not the general one of father, you know, coming home boozed, father beating mother, father shouting, or father of, you know, a religious man and an allergy coming home, and it's all about money and, you know, marrying so many women and comes and, you know, has to be bowed to and all that. The way we project.
Yeah. If these values are inculcated right from the household, it will permeate through the national life. One of them is, you know, a Quranic verse in 65, which says that your wealth, your children, your wives, and everybody within your household is but a trial for you. So you should be watchful. A trial because if you are looking at the bigger picture of the national level, forgetting that these things started from the family level and permeated through, we'll be failing big time. Other things that we must do to celebrate fathers is one of these beautiful programs. This is such an important program. I always don't want to miss it. If I miss it, it's like something has gone off me, because the issues that are being discussed are issues that go to the core of the family in Ghana, every home and internationally. So I always want to make sure that I listen to it. What have we done about paternity leaves? The woman or the mother or our sisters get pregnant. It's a natural phenomenon. I'm a public health pharmacist, so I know what I'm talking about. It's a natural phenomenon. It is normal societal happiness.
Sheikh is talking, he's looking at my stomach.
What is wrong with your stomach?
There's nothing wrong.
So what happens is that at the workplace, what are the considerations that are given to the father to support their wives? It is when it is close to, they said, okay, go on maternity leave for 3 months and then come back to work. So the woman goes back home and then has those few times to spend with the kids. What about the father? Paternity leaves should be synchronized with maternity leave. Anytime your wife is going on maternity leave, the father should be considered. So that you give a proper helping hand, and at that stage, which is a critical stage of child's upbringing, she would have the personal affection and the touch of that child. Quran chapter 31 is a chapter called Surah Luqman. Verse 13 to verse 15 is a typical roles defined by a father. The Luqman, who was a prophet of God, sits down his children. He calls down his children. And when they sat down, the first thing he said, my sons and my children, my daughters, do not add anything unto God, for God is a jealous God. Then he said the second one, respect your parents, your mother and your father. Then the other one, he said, respect your wives, and then any other person that around you. The fourth one, he said, do not shout when you are talking to any of them. And he said the worst kind of sound is the sound of a braying ass. You see, the donkey, the sound. So when you are, the manner in which we talk to our children as fathers, the manner in which we talk to everybody within our household as fathers, determines the ability of them to pick and ingrain in their minds things that will remain with them forever in their adulthood.
And also sometimes what society advertises have shown us that men are supposed to be the callous ones. Yeah. When they arrest armed robbers and there are women involved, you see how it's displayed? You know, it's displayed that because women were involved. Is it right if men do it? You see, I think that we must have a society where wrong is wrong, no matter who does it. No matter who does it. And that is how I think it's important that this program that is unfortunately shown on only one TV station in Ghana would other TV stations will pay into it. No, you pay for them. Pay into it and get education for people.
In 2 days, 18th, you're celebrating Father's Day. I said that I'm quite, scandalized that as a nation, the way, at the StandPoint, the whole month we celebrated motherhood. We are doing one program, but next week the program we are doing too is about fathers. So 2 programs. Next year we'll repent. Saturday, 17th, they are having this exclusive men's award, Emmy Awards, that they are going to award men that people think are role models and all that.
What about us?
They didn't mean, don't worry. StandPoint 10th anniversary, I will award you. If there is one thing you would like to see change in society in terms of fatherhood from this year's Father's Day going, what would it be?
No, the fact that we should bring out fathers, go down what they are doing in their homes, follow them, you know what I'm saying, their morning, what they do, how they manage their homes, how, those who are helping in babysitting and things like that, take it from that angle. I mean, like I said, a storyline. You see, for part, because the other time there was on a TV station, the father was taking care of daughters because the wife had left when the children were 5. Go bring those fathers. Those are not the ones we see them on because they have a media channel. They are on TV, on radio. And, no, go down there. There are others who are taking care of girls, their daughters, because their mothers are gone. And go and showcase and reward those people. Go and show them. Their fathers. Some of us, when our children were born, we were washing nappy because there was no pampers and things. We were washing nappy. Go and show those fathers. Go beyond the glamour. I don't like these awards because I think it's too sometimes glamorous and just look at people who you can see. There are people out there in the villages out there doing things for their children as fathers, helping them not educated, but helping to educate their children and things like that. Going the extra mile. Go and showcase those people and award them. That is what I think should be done. Not these ones on media that you can see us and things like that. No, that is not the reward. That is not role model.
Wow, I thought I was going to get an applause. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for spending time with us today and, opening our eyes and, really speaking to us and educating us. I'm sure there are lots of people watching today and some will be happy. Some will be looking at their husbands some way. Some also will begin to appreciate their husbands much more and their fathers better than they have in the past and will do something about it. Thank you so much. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. My husband says something that children are born with only one thing, the fear of fall. All other things are taught or they learn. And as a society, I think we need to invest in what we want to see or want to achieve or reap. So if today we are condemning fathers, we say men are this way, what are we doing about it as a society to make sure that in the nearest future, our children, our sisters, our brothers become better human beings? Our sons become better fathers. Love is not based on perfection. You do not love somebody because the person is perfect, but because despite that person's imperfections, you still care about him or her. You still want to sacrifice. You still want to come to a place of compromise, to learn to forgive. My cousin says love is in spite of, not because of. So even as we celebrate Father's Day, what kind of father do you have? Can I humbly say to you that in spite of it all, can you show some affection towards your father so that as a man, you can become a better father? So that as a woman, you can have a better husband who will be a better father. Because a thank you from a father, God bless you from a father, means a lot. The Bible talks about it. The Quran talks about it. We have traditional folklores and stories that tells us about the blessing of a father. This Father's Day, let us show love in spite of. Go out there, get a present, get a gift. Take it to your father. Take it to your father and show some love. Love is in spite of. Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. All good fathers. All fathers who are about to be good. And all fathers who will be good. My name is Ohenere Gifty Auntie. And as always, I have super crazy faith in God. And I am here. I am who I am. Because a father decided to be there for me. And by the grace of God, everything I know and do is because he taught me. He taught me to fight for myself. He taught me that I can do anything I put my mind to. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.